We are very grateful to BNY Mellon for hosting us. So Joy Peacock and Kristy Silvernail were helping us, but specifically Prakash. And I learned how to pronounce your last name, and suddenly I've already forgotten. So, but anyway.
Don't worry.
You have,
after Monshasta, you're fine.
but Prakash has a little bit of information about how BNY Mellon is using doing a settlement coin. So please do that right now. So thank you very much for hosting this.
Thank you. So I know, coming from the Bay Area, many of the people here won't know some of the specific examples of how blockchains are actually being utilized. And this is something which I got from Bank for International Settlements. It talks about what exactly is money flow, in the sense that what are the various ways which can be used, how is it created. If you take a look at it, there are some things which are centrally issued, like the regular currencies, and some which are not electronic and some which are electronic. If you look at the US dollar, it's not electronic. But the reason why we are talking about this is what is universally available and what is only available in wholesale. If you look at banking, there's wholesale versus retail. Retail is what you will get in any regular bank. You go to Chase or something, you get the money. Whereas those which are wholesale are only transacting between financial companies. That's the one. And the reason to bring this up is you have a central one here, the CBDC, which is the Central Bank Cryptocurrency. So it's important for people to understand what can be done with it, what cannot be done, and why some people are for it and some people aren't. Actually, Shayla Baer of the previous FDIC, she said we should have CBDC. And she feels that if you look at the way people are using money right now, for instance, different countries are using it different ways. If you look at Sweden, for instance, they never use retail currency. Everything is plastic. In fact, if you go to Sweden, there are many shops which won't take cash. They won't even take cash. It's important to understand because they have to keep a lot of requirements for managing cash. If you have to give refunds and all that stuff, they don't want to do that. And the reason for bringing all this up with respect to BNY Mellon is that currently there's if you look at BNY Mellon is actually participating in a big area, the utility settlement coin. The utility settlement coin is a project which was started by, I think, UBS, yes. And now there are 17 companies which are participating in it, and they are all mega companies, including HSBC, I think Deutsche Bank, so many companies are there. And the main reason, it might look simple, but it's actually not simple in the sense that it should work across 4 different currencies and it should be instantly transferable. So if I am a bank which works on the USC and I give $1 million and get the USC in return. So it is already decided on the transfer. And after that, if I give it to someone, it's only between banks, nobody else. And the reason we are bringing up the USC is it's completely implemented in Ethereum. That's in fact, many people tried to move it away from Ethereum. It didn't work out. In fact, R3 Corda wanted it to go to Corda, and for a multitude of reasons, they didn't do the transfer. And if you look at the, so in a broad sense, this is the utility settlement coins, different perspectives, how you work with fiats across central banks, and how does it improve? And we have already gone from being a proof of concept pilot to beyond that. Of course, it's up in the air to see how far it can go. The main reason I'm bringing that up is if you have a central bank cryptocurrency, the question then will be, do you need a USC then? It's a up in the air question, but it's more, there is practicality to it and philosophy to it. I'll let people like.
What did you say? If you have a central bank cryptocurrency, do you need a what?
Do you need a USC?
A US
utility settlement coin.
Oh, okay, correct.
That's the point. Yeah.
Well, because that is interesting. What's the probability you think in your mind, in your opinion, that we would have that? Because right now, a lot of stable coins can only go to commercial banking, but they can't get to the next level, which would make it it would actually, I think, make it so much better.
You're absolutely right. And it's a complex problem. The main thing people say is it will take a while for us to go to a CBCC. It's not going to happen tomorrow.
How long though?
Probably, I don't know, at least 5 years. It's not going to be quick. It will take a long time because the main problem with banking is that they don't want surprises. And if you have a CBCC, transfer of money between different points can be very quick and you won't be able to see. And so the Federal Reserve they are for it, but a lot of the regular banks are not yet ready for it. They're okay with wholesale, but retail. And so they have to measure how much that will be so that they are prepared for any complications which can come due to that. Because in banking, the main thing is you should have complete tracking of the system. So how do you give anonymity to the person and yet track anything which is fraud, etc.? It's a very tricky balance. You want anonymity. If I go through USC, there is no anonymity. Please remember that. The minute I buy that, it's known from that point forever. But since it's a big bank, they don't care. But if you go and talk to an individual, they don't want that. See, it's a very tricky problem. That's why. Okay. I'll stop now and let the main folks start.
So is the purpose CBCC to offer anonymity to end users?
That is just one purpose. To be fair, there are multiple purposes for having a CBCC. The multitude is, in fact, I can talk to you later about it. It's a big area of work, including non-technical work. I should accept that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prakash. If you guys get a chance, please thank you.